What if I told you that the difference between an 80-year-old who moves with the energy of someone half their age and one who can barely get out of a chair has almost nothing to do with luck or genetics? Scientists have spent decades studying the world's longest living populations, the blue zones, places like Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, and Loma Linda in California. And what they discovered is both humbling and electrifying. The people who live the longest, the healthiest, and the happiest lives are not doing extraordinary things. They are doing ordinary things, extraordinarily consistently. Today, I'm going to share with you 6 golden habits that research confirms can add 10, even 15 years to your healthy life. Not just years to your life, but life to your years. These are not myths, not wellness trends, not things your doctor will dismiss. These are scientifically validated, physician-recommended practices that anyone can start, regardless of age, fitness level, or health history. Whether you're 55 or 80, whether you feel strong today or you're just trying to get back on your feet, these habits will change your biology. They will change how you feel when you wake up in the morning. And if you stay until habit number 6, I promise you, it will completely shift the way you think about aging itself. Let's begin. Habit number 1, walk like your life depends on it, because it does. Before you think you already know about walking, stay with me. Because what most people don't realize is that walking is not just exercise. At a cellular level, it is one of the most powerful anti-aging medicines ever discovered by science. Here is what happens inside your body the moment you start walking. Your heart rate rises, increasing blood flow to every organ in your body. Your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside your cells, become more active and efficient. Your brain floods with a chemical called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which researchers at Harvard literally call miracle grow for the brain. It rebuilds neural pathways, sharpens memory, and protects against Alzheimer's disease. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that adults over 70 who walked regularly reduced their risk of physical disability by over 28%. Another study from Harvard Medical School confirmed that regular walkers reduce their risk of heart disease by up to 40%. Not 4%, 40% from walking. The benefits go even deeper than that. Walking regulates your blood sugar, which means it protects you from type 2 diabetes. It reduces inflammation throughout the body, and inflammation, doctors now understand, is the root cause of nearly every chronic disease of aging. Walking strengthens your bones, reducing the risk of fractures and osteoporosis. It improves your balance and coordination, which means fewer falls, one of the leading causes of serious injury in adults over 65. And here is something that never gets talked about enough. Walking is a natural antidepressant. Every single step you take releases endorphins, your body's own feel-good chemicals. Studies show that a 30-minute walk can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression as powerfully as many medications, with 0 side effects. You don't need to start big. You don't need a gym. You don't need special equipment. Start with 10 minutes. Walk around the block. Walk to the mailbox. Walk while you talk on the phone. Then build from there. The research shows that even 7,000 steps a day, which is far less than the 10,000 you always hear about, is enough to dramatically lower your risk of premature death. Walking is free. It is available to you right now. And every single step is a deposit into the bank account of your health and your future. Habit number 2, pay deep attention to what you eat. Let me be direct with you. Food is not just fuel. Food is information. Every single bite you take sends a message to your cells, either telling them to age faster or telling them to repair, rebuild, and thrive. The research is clear and it is alarming. A diet high in ultra-processed foods, packaged snacks, fast food, sugary drinks, refined flour, accelerates biological aging at the cellular level. Scientists can actually measure this by looking at telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA. People who eat processed food consistently have shorter telomeres, which means their cells are biologically older than their actual age. But here is the extraordinary flip side. A diet rich in whole, natural, nutrient-dense foods does the opposite. It lengthens telomeres. It reduces inflammation. It protects the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the joints, every system in your body. So what does this diet actually look like? It starts with color. Load your plate with vegetables of every color, dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and broccoli, which are packed with folate, vitamin K, and powerful antioxidants that protect brain tissue. Add orange and red vegetables like sweet potatoes and bell peppers, rich in beta-carotene that supports eye health and immune function. Include cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, which contain compounds that have been shown in clinical studies to help the body fight cancer cells. Add berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. These small fruits carry some of the highest concentrations of antioxidants found anywhere in nature. They reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the primary drivers of brain aging and cognitive decline. Eat fatty fish at least twice a week. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation, protect your heart, and are absolutely essential for brain health. Multiple studies have shown that people with higher omega-3 levels have larger brain volume as they age and significantly lower rates of dementia. Choose whole grains over refined grains. Brown rice, quinoa, oats, barley. These provide slow-burning energy that keeps your blood sugar stable throughout the day. Stable blood sugar means less inflammation, better mood, clearer thinking, and lower risk of diabetes. Include legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. These are among the most consistently consumed foods in every blue zone on Earth. They are rich in fiber, plant protein, and minerals that support heart health and longevity. And drink water. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, but our need for hydration does not. Dehydration in older adults contributes to fatigue, confusion, joint pain, constipation, and kidney stress. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water daily. Herbal teas count. Infused water with lemon or cucumber counts. What doesn't count is soda, sugary juice, or excessive alcohol, all of which accelerate aging at the cellular level. You do not need to eat perfectly, but you do need to eat intentionally. Every meal is a choice, and over time, those choices compound, either in your favor or against you. Habit number 3, keep your mind in training every single day. Here is a truth that most people find unsettling. Your brain is either growing or it is shrinking. There is no standing still. Every day that passes without mental challenge, the brain loses a little more of its adaptive power, its neuroplasticity, its ability to form new connections and recall old ones. But here is the extraordinary truth. Neuroplasticity does not stop at 40 or 60 or even 80. Your brain retains the ability to grow new neural pathways at any age. And the habits you build around mental engagement are the single most powerful tool you have for protecting your cognitive health as you grow older. Reading is one of the most effective brain exercises known to science. When you read, your brain is not passively receiving information. It is actively constructing meaning, visualizing scenes, making connections, and holding multiple threads of information in working memory simultaneously. A study from Rush University Medical Center found that people who engaged in mentally stimulating activities like reading throughout their lives had a 32% lower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who did not. Puzzles and strategy games, crosswords, Sudoku, chess, card games, challenge your brain's executive function, memory retrieval, and pattern recognition. These are precisely the cognitive skills that tend to decline first with age, and precisely the ones that respond most powerfully to regular training. Learning something entirely new is even more potent. When you learn a new language, a musical instrument, a new craft, or a new skill, you force your brain to build entirely new neural networks. This process, called neurogenesis, actually creates new brain cells in the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory and spatial navigation. Researchers at the University of Edinburgh found that people who learned a second language, even later in life, showed significantly delayed onset of dementia symptoms. And do not underestimate the power of creative expression. Writing in a journal, painting, playing music, cooking new recipes. These activities engage multiple regions of the brain simultaneously, creating what neuroscientists call cognitive reserve, a kind of mental buffer that protects the brain against the damage caused by Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Your mind is your most precious asset. Treat it that way. Give it something to work on every single day. Challenge it, stretch it, and it will serve you faithfully for decades to come. Habit number 4, build strength and never stop. Let me tell you something that most people over 60 have never been told by their doctor, and it is one of the most important things you will hear today. After the age of 30, the human body loses approximately 3 to 8% of its muscle mass per decade. After 60, that rate accelerates. The medical term for this is sarcopenia, and it is not a minor inconvenience. Sarcopenia is a silent epidemic. It is directly responsible for falls, fractures, loss of independence, metabolic slowdown, insulin resistance, and a dramatically increased risk of death from almost every cause. But here is what changes everything. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is not a fixed consequence of aging. It is a condition that responds powerfully at any age to one intervention: strength training. Study after study confirms this. A landmark trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine showed that frail nursing home residents in their 80s and 90s who engaged in resistance training for just 10 weeks gained an average of 174% increase in muscle strength, and many were able to walk without assistance for the first time in years. At 80 and 90 years old, strength training does far more than build muscle. It increases bone density, which directly reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. It improves balance and coordination, cutting fall risk dramatically. It boosts metabolism, helping the body manage blood sugar more effectively and reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. It improves posture, reducing chronic back and joint pain. And it releases growth hormone and testosterone, the very hormones that decline most sharply with age, naturally stimulating the body's repair and regeneration systems. You do not need a gym. You do not need heavy weights, resistance bands, light dumbbells, or simply the weight of your own body is enough to begin. Squats strengthen your legs and protect your knees. Wall push-ups build upper body strength without joint strain. Seated leg raises improve hip flexor strength and stability. Resistance band rows protect your posture and spine. Start with 2 sessions per week. Even 15 to 20 minutes is enough to trigger meaningful physiological change. The key is not intensity, it is consistency. Show up for your body and your body will show up for you. Habit number 5. Protect your social connections with the same urgency you protect your health. This one surprises people, but the science is unambiguous and it is profound. In 2023, the United States Surgeon General issued a formal advisory declaring loneliness a public health epidemic, with health consequences as severe as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 cigarettes a day. Social isolation increases the risk of heart disease by 29%, stroke by 32%, and dementia by a staggering 50%. But here is the other side of that coin. People who maintain strong, meaningful social connections live measurably longer. A meta-analysis of 148 studies involving over 300,000 people found that individuals with strong social relationships had a 50% greater likelihood of survival compared to those who were socially isolated. 50%. That is the equivalent of quitting smoking, exercising regularly, and maintaining a healthy weight, all from staying socially connected. Why does connection have such a powerful effect on the body? Because human beings are wired for belonging. When we feel connected, seen, valued, loved, our nervous system shifts into a state of calm. Cortisol levels drop, inflammation decreases, immune function strengthens. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, floods the body and actively protects the heart. When we are isolated, the opposite happens. The body interprets loneliness as a threat. The stress response activates. Cortisol rises chronically. Inflammation increases. And over time, every system in the body begins to break down faster. You do not need a large social circle. Research shows that even 2 or 3 deep, consistent relationships provide most of the protective benefit. What matters is quality and regularity. Call a friend. Join a walking group, a book club, a faith community, a volunteer organization. Take a class. Say yes to the invitation you would normally decline. And if in-person connection is difficult, use technology. Video calls, voice messages, even thoughtful text messages activate the same neurochemical pathways as in-person interaction. The brain does not distinguish sharply between connection through a screen and connection in person. What it responds to is the feeling of being known and valued. Make social connection a non-negotiable part of your weekly routine. Schedule it the same way you schedule a doctor's appointment. Because in terms of its impact on your health and your longevity, it is just as important. Habit number 6. Master the art of deep, restorative sleep. If there is one habit on this list that most people are violating without realizing the full cost, it is this one. Sleep is not passive. It is not wasted time. What happens during those hours of sleep is more biologically active and more critical to your survival than almost anything that happens while you are awake. During deep sleep, your brain activates a system called the glymphatic system, a biological waste removal network that literally flushes toxic proteins from your brain tissue. One of those proteins is called amyloid beta. And amyloid beta buildup is the primary pathological hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. This flushing process only occurs during deep sleep. It cannot happen any other way. Which means every night of poor sleep is a night your brain could not clean itself, and toxic proteins accumulated instead. Beyond the brain, sleep is when your heart rate and blood pressure drop to their lowest, giving your cardiovascular system its only true period of rest and recovery. It is when growth hormone surges, triggering muscle repair, cellular regeneration, and immune system strengthening. It is when your body consolidates memories, processes emotions, and rebalances the hormones that regulate appetite, mood, and stress. Chronic sleep deprivation, defined as consistently sleeping less than 7 hours per night, increases the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, depression, and early death. A study from the University of California, Berkeley found that just one night of poor sleep increases the accumulation of amyloid beta in the brain by nearly 5%. One night. So how do you sleep better as you age? First, protect your sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. This anchors your circadian rhythm, which is your body's internal clock, and it is the single most powerful regulator of sleep quality. Make your bedroom a sanctuary of darkness, quiet, and cool temperature. The ideal sleep temperature for most adults is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Darkness signals your brain to release melatonin. Even small amounts of light, from a phone screen, a television, a street light through the curtains, can suppress melatonin and delay sleep onset. Avoid caffeine after 2 in the afternoon. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning half of the caffeine from a 3 p.m. cup of coffee is still active in your system at 10 p.m. Avoid alcohol close to bedtime. Though alcohol may help you fall asleep, it severely disrupts the deep sleep and REM stages that are responsible for restoration and memory consolidation. Create a wind-down routine in the 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Dim the lights, put down the phone, read something calm, take a warm bath or shower. The subsequent drop in body temperature actually triggers sleepiness. Practice slow, deep breathing to shift your nervous system from the stress response into rest mode. Sleep is not something that happens to you. It is something you create through the environment you build, the habits you protect, and the priority you place on it every single night. These 6 habits: walking, eating well, mental engagement, strength training, social connection, and deep sleep, are not isolated tips. They are interconnected pillars. Each one strengthens the others. Walking improves sleep. Sleep strengthens the brain. A strong brain makes better food choices. Good nutrition fuels strength training. Strength training builds the confidence to stay socially active. And social connection gives you the emotional reason to keep doing all of it. This is not about adding years to your calendar. It is about adding depth, energy, and joy to every year you have. It is about waking up tomorrow feeling stronger than you did today. It is about reaching your 80s and still feeling fully, completely alive. You have everything you need to begin. The only question is, will you start today? If this video gave you something valuable, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe so you never miss what comes next. I will see you in the next one.